penalties so far for Florida State. This one on the return team backs the Noles up. Travis and company down 3 now. Begin from their 8-yard line. From his end zone, delivers a short pass, and Benson nowhere to go. Dorian Massey. And now a flag called for by Florida State fans. They don't get it as they slung him down in the end zone late.
But Maosu really does a good job. They throw a screen and he's right there, nowhere to go. He got right behind the convoy of blockers. By the time they turned to get downfield, he'd already figured out and what to look for and got into the backfield. Right now, Jordan Travis having a hard time finding receivers to throw to. 12 completions, only 3 of those to receivers, all 3 to Johnny Wilson.
8 of 9 on the last drive, using mainly the tight ends in the back. Benson fights for a couple yards. Going to be 3rd and long, and Duke, if they can get off the field here, should set Leonard up in great field position.
You go back to that punt. I mean, that was a moonshot, right? And then the penalty, they went from their own 25-yard line to push them back inside their 10 to start this drive. Now you hope your defense, if you're Duke, can get a 3 and out, and you're going to have great field position, like you said, Chris, right around midfield.
3rd downs have been in trouble for Florida State, as they are for most Duke opponents, allowing just 37% coming into this. From the end zone, Travis has time, patiently steps up, delivers in traffic on the carry. It's intercepted by Chandler Rivers, who takes it for a touchdown. Duke's defense was a force he cannot do against this group.
Well, he's been getting spoiled with the tight ends, and he tried to go one more time to Spurlock right here. Watch this.
The following message is transmitted at the request of the Chapel Hill Police Department. A law enforcement warning has been issued for the Chapel Hill and Durham area until further notice. The pro-Palestine and pro-Israel protests have devolved into a violent riot. The University of North Carolina campus police have declared an unlawful assembly after protesters from both sides started attacking each other violently. Authorities have failed to contain the riot, and it has spread throughout the Chapel Hill and Durham area. If you are in the Chapel Hill and Durham area, or live near or on the campuses of North Carolina or Duke University, you need to shelter in place immediately. If you are outside, find the nearest available shelter. Do not approach any of the rioters, as they are believed to be armed and dangerous. Do not engage in rioting or looting. It will result in you being injured and or arrested by authorities. A curfew has been put into place in the Chapel Hill and Durham area until further notice. Please remain indoors until the authorities have regained control of the situation.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Back to pass again on 1st down. Extending the play. He just heaves it into that Virginia bench. May just barely got it away, and the ball is caught. Intercepted James Jackson for Virginia.
The following message is transmitted at the request of the North Carolina National Guard. A civil danger warning has been issued for the following counties: Chatham, Durham, Guilford, Harnett, Lee, Mecklenburg, Moore, and Wake until further notice. Mass rioting is taking place in many urban areas around the state. Governor Roy Cooper has declared a state of emergency and has called the National Guard in to stop the riots. Over 100 people have been confirmed killed at this time, including 21 police officers. The University of North Carolina Police Department reported that many individuals who have been attacked have huge bite marks in their flesh. It is unknown at this time if outside groups such as Hamas or Hezbollah have infiltrated the protests or not. Reports say that people from both the pro-Israel side and the pro-Palestine side have acted aggressive. Please shelter in place until the all-clear signal is given by authorities. These rioters have shown to be aggressive to anyone they come into contact with and are considered highly dangerous. Lock all doors and windows. Do not answer the door to anyone you do not know. If you see anyone rioting or attacking individuals, do not engage them. Dial 911 immediately. Do not use the telephone. The telephone lines are to be kept open for emergency purposes.
I'm a team mascot, and boy am I running late. But I got lead in my foot and spirit in my fingers. Ow, what a hit. And if you have cut rate car insurance, the cost to cover that might tank your season. So get Allstate and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
You are listening to WABC 77. Time for the nightly news with Robert Patrick.
Hello, America! I'm Robert Patrick here for the Robert Patrick Show. Today has been a gloomy day for the United States, as pro-Palestine protests have turned violent all around the country. Specifically, one incident at the University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill, where thousands of college kids broke out into a riot with the pro-Israel side and the pro-Palestine side launching attacks at each other. Campus police tried to take control of the situation, but it has spread completely out of control. According to WRAL News in North Carolina, several people went to the hospital with bite marks. It is not known which side started the riot, but it is believed that both sides were extremely violent towards each other and the local law enforcement. There were also reports of biting at similar protests on the University of Colorado's campus. And a small protest at the University of Texas also broke out into violence, with reports of victims getting bit by other people. It seems to be a disturbing trend at these protests. Former president and presidential candidates for 2024, Donald Trump commented on the protest on his crackpot social media platform, Truth Social, condemning the riots as acts of terrorism. Now, it's quite ironic for him to say that, because it was his violent rhetoric in the first place that reduced people to animal instincts. His violent rhetoric specifically caused the January 6th insurrection, which, by the way, he is still facing charges for at this time. This has normalized behavior like biting people to be used during what is supposed to be peaceful protests. And the former president also omits the part where pro-Israeli supporters also bit protesters, but he wouldn't want to include any information that hurts his point of view, or his ego, for that matter. He loves accusing others of fake news, but rarely admits to the fake narratives that he pushes in the nation on a daily basis. The political environment needs to stop because it is increasingly becoming more dangerous for the average American to live. When will Trump be held accountable for his recklessness? And when will the bigotry from the GOP finally be exposed? They do not care about the Palestinian people. They don't even see them as people. Here is a quote from Senator Mitch McConnell.
The following message is transmitted at the request of the Texas Department of State Health Services and the Texas Office of the Governor. There is a contagious disease warning for the entire state of Texas until further notice. An unknown pathogen has been detected by doctors at the University of Texas Hospital after treating victims of a recent pro-Palestine protest that turned violent. 20 people were admitted to the hospital, with all of the victims having bite wounds. Victims at the hospital started exhibiting aggressive behavior towards hospital staff, with a report of one nurse being killed in a violent assault. The exact origin of the virus is currently unknown, but it is currently believed that the recent Palestine protests have been super-spreader events for this novel virus. The virus appears to spread through contact with bodily fluids such as blood or saliva. Symptoms of the virus include migraines, confusion, muscle spasms, coughing, nausea, vomiting, abnormal agitation, flesh-eating infection, seizures, and violent aggressive behavior. If you see anyone exhibiting these symptoms, or anyone acting violent, primarily if they are biting any individuals, then you need to call 911 immediately. Do not engage with anyone who is showing these symptoms, as it will put your life in danger. If you are showing these symptoms yourself, or have been bitten by another human being, then you must self-quarantine yourself from others and dial 911 immediately. Everyone needs to shelter in place immediately. Lock all doors and windows. Do not answer the door for anyone that you do not know, because you may be putting your life at risk. It is not required, but it is highly recommended that you wear a mask, because it will prevent transmission of the virus and also prevent you from contracting the virus. Do not use the telephone. The telephone lines are to be kept open for emergency purposes only. Governor Abbott has declared a state of emergency for the entire state of Texas and will be speaking on all networks shortly.
King verdict, Lester.
All right, we are going to, Jeff, that the president is taking the podium. We're going to pause now to bring our stations along for a special report.
This is an NBC News special report. here's Lester Holt.
We interrupt your regularly scheduled programming. This is a national emergency. Important instructions will follow. The following message is transmitted at the request of the Center for Disease Control and the United States government. The recent episodes of violent protests that have been occurring throughout the country are believed to be a result of a novel virus of unknown origin. The virus is believed to be spread by contact with biological fluids such as blood and saliva. Symptoms of the virus include migraines, confusion, muscle spasms, coughing, nausea, vomiting, abnormal agitation, flesh-eating infection, seizures, and violent aggressive behavior. The virus attacks the brain and nervous system, causing persons contaminated to still act violently despite being brain dead. If you are having any of these symptoms or see someone you know exhibiting any of these symptoms, you are to call 911 immediately. If you believe that you have gotten the virus, please isolate yourself from your loved ones as you are putting their lives in danger. Do not attempt to help anyone who are exhibiting these symptoms, as their increased aggressive nature may cause them to bite you. If you have been bitten by another human being, then you must assume that you have contracted the virus and must self-quarantine. Call 911 immediately and make sure you are isolated from any other human. President Joe Biden has declared martial law, and any human found outside of their homes will be arrested or killed by the military. All planes in the United States have been grounded, and both the Mexican and Canadian border has been closed in order to prevent the virus from spreading to other countries. The president has been taken to an undisclosed location and will be speaking to the nation shortly. This is an emergency action notification. All broadcast, cable, and radio stations shall transmit this emergency action notification message. We have interrupted regularly scheduled programming at the request of the White House to participate in the emergency alert system. This is the emergency alert system serving the Durham area. If this is not your area, then tune into stations providing news and information for your area. Do not use the telephone. The telephone lines are to be kept open for emergency purposes only. This is an emergency action notification. All broadcast.
Hello, welcome to McDonald's. May I take your order, please?
ご注文はお決まりですか?
Quarter pounder with cheese.
Royal with cheese.
I've been exceedingly fond of McNuggets of chicken.
I haven't had a Big Mac in a long time.
Get on McFlurry.
In Puerto Rico, a McFlurry is called a Señor Flurry.
How many Filet-O-Fishes did you eat? That's over several months, Ryan.
We interrupt your regularly scheduled programming. This is a national emergency. Important instructions will follow. The following message is being transmitted at the request of the United States government and the Center for Disease Control. The current virus that has been affecting the United States has been reported to spread across the world, and millions of people are reported to be dead. The United States government believes that this virus is a biological weapon used by Hamas at pro-Palestine protests. Doctors discovered that there were needle marks on some of the deceased protesters, with traces of the virus at the injection site. The FBI also discovered needles on a few dead persons of Gaza origin that contained the virus inside. It is concluded that this is a biological terrorist attack that has gone horribly wrong. Intelligence sources believe that the virus originated from the Wuhan Institute of Virology and was somehow transferred into the possession of the Iranian government, who distributed the virus to Hamas terrorists. The Center for Disease Control, in conjunction with the World Health Organization, is working on a vaccine for this virus. It is believed that the virus has a 100% mortality rate. The virus is believed to be spread by bodily fluids such as blood or saliva. For these reasons, it is required that all persons wear a mask to help slow the spread of the virus. Symptoms for the virus include migraines, confusion, muscle spasms, coughing, nausea, vomiting, abnormal agitation,